More and more often, we are seeing grandparents stepping in as primary caregivers when biological parents are unable to do so. AARP wants to make sure caregivers are aware of the resources and support available. Marguerite Rowe, State Director of AARP, and Teresa Everett from Atlantic Street Center are here to discuss kinship care. Hello, ladies. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
Yes. Marguerite, I want to start with you. Can you explain kinship care, what it is, and why it's such an important topic to discuss?
You know, it's exactly like you said. It is about grandparents or aunts or uncles who are stepping in to care for children when their biological parents can't do so. It could be because of illness, it could be because of death, or simply just difficult circumstances that arises. We have about 40,000 grandparents who are taking care of about 50,000 children here in Washington State. And you know, this is such an important topic because, as you know, we care about caregivers. And what's happening now is that caregivers are older and older and finding themselves taking care of children at older ages.
Definitely. It's just such an important topic to discuss. And I want you both to share about what some of the biggest challenges grandparents and other relatives face when they step in.
I would start with, because this is a great question, I would start with the fact that there are no services that will help them financially. So it's very hard to get those financial services to help grandparents and kinship caregivers. Kinship caregivers oftentimes are in their retirement phase, and so they are on a fixed income. Mm-hmm. And so to have additional members of their family join them and become a part of the household puts a financial strain on them big time. And then you also have younger caregivers that it could be a sibling that's taking care of a younger person. And so it's a very difficult road and a lonely journey at times.
That makes sense.
And you know, usually when this occurs, it's not a planned event. And so the emotional stress that is both on the children and also for the caregivers is something to be considered. And knowing where to go for support is really, really important. And we know it's getting harder and harder, perhaps, challenging with technology, challenging with just figuring out where do you find trusted information, and taking care of oneself as well as taking care of the family.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And Teresa, tell us about the kinship care support, if you will, at Atlantic Street Center.
Piggybacking off of what Marguerite is saying is we know that it's a difficult journey, and so we try to provide things like support around technology, because a lot of the things do require some knowledge of technology. We also advocate for them and teach them how to be advocates for themselves. We also try to do respite care for them so that they have a day where they are celebrated and they are taken care of, because they often deal with isolation, depression, and things like that. So we also try to celebrate them. We asked them recently something they wanted to do, and they said, we would love to go to Jazz Alley. Well, financially, we couldn't afford that. So we brought it to them. And so we had a live band, we catered to them, the staff became waitresses, and we served them a nice dinner and had a live band come in and just play music for them. And they were just so thankful and so happy. So sometimes it's the little things that make a difference for them.
And so much support too, right, with legal and financial. Like, you have a lot of options, right?
We have a lot of options. At Atlantic Street Center, we do wraparound services for our families. And so we have our own mental health department. We have a lot of things for the children. But we also, if we don't have it internal, we will help them find it external. So we go out into the community, we have partners that we partner with, and we make sure that the needs of the grandparents are met, because without them, the child can't be taken care of, the family can't be taken care of. It's very important that their needs are met so that they can be the head of the household and function in a thriving way.
Definitely. And I would imagine the toll physically can be hard with, you know, some of these caregivers getting older. Can you guys speak to that at all?
It is physically, mentally, it is a toll on them, financially. looking for legal services, because sometimes they have to figure out how to navigate those systems, and those systems can be difficult for people that are in the field. So imagine someone that is not expecting to do something like that. So it does take a toll on them, and we are trying to, like I say, always find ways to help them. So we often bring in health professionals to talk with them, whether it be about physical health or mental health, but it does take a toll on them, absolutely.
Yeah. And as we've talked about before, we have 820,000 unpaid family caregivers. And so many of them being caught in that sandwich generation. And when they don't expect it as they move into retirement, as Teresa has said, this is something that more and more people are facing. And so that's why we want to make sure that people know where to go to get resources.
And that's what I want to talk about next. Where can people go to find more information?
Well, if you're looking for more information, you can always go to our website, www.atlanticstreetcenter.org. Atlantic Street Center, we are happy to support. If we don't have that service, then we will refer you to our partner agency. It's called the Kinship Navigator Program through Catholic Community Services. So that's one, those are two ways that you can get involved, and we can help you get services that you need.
And importantly, there are kinship resources through the Department of Social and Human Services and through the Department of Children, Youth and Families here in Washington State for people who are outside of King County.
Yes.
And then of course for caregivers themselves, you can always come to www.aarp.org, caregivers/caregiverswa, because that is where we've put together our resources for caregivers in all circumstances.
Thank you so much, you guys, for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And to find more information about kinship care, including links to the Atlantic Street Center and other support, just go to the website that you see right there on your screen.
This portion of New Day Northwest is sponsored by AARP and BECU.